that excels. Leadership character that excels. And my objective in this session is to define the core pillars of leadership character and also provide actionable strategies for development of this character and inspire a commitment to ethical excellence. So there is need for us to understand what are the characters that we need to build for us to be a leader par excellence, and how do we develop this character. And a commitment must be made towards ethical excellence from this meeting. I love the way the organizers have, structured the topics. Character is the most important thing. Character is the foundation. When we talk about leadership, it starts from character. I will try as much as possible not to preach, because that one is in the blood, you understand? However, when it comes to leadership, charisma can take you up. But what will make you to stay is your character. Many people, by the reason of aptitude, by the reason of intelligence, by the reason of their intellect, they've done well. Have you not heard of people who had first class? They rose to, zenith of their profession. But at the end of the day, they lost it all. Why? Because they didn't have the character to maintain. Media, you have my slides, right? So they didn't have the character to maintain that exalted position that they found themselves. So this now brings us to the issue of character versus competence. In every circle, every sphere of influence that we found ourselves, there is always this competition between character and between competence. By the grace of God, apart from ministry, I've been involved in corporate organization for about 22 years now, and I've seen a lot when it comes to character. While I was in Akwa Ibom, there was this guy. He came from ExxonMobil. He was a contract staff in ExxonMobil to join us in Frontier Oil Limited. Because we are online, I will not mention his name. This guy was intelligent. This guy was good. Anytime they are talking about someone that's supposed to have, that's supposed to get the award for the month, for the quarter, for the year, his name always come on top, appear. But one of the things I've discovered, because I joined them, we joined at the same level. But I discovered that within 7 years that I used in Akwa Ibom in that company, I was promoted 4 times. However, this guy is also intelligent. But unfortunately, whenever his name appears for promotion, at the management meeting, which by my second promotion, I happen to be on the table, at the management meeting, they will flag it. They will say, oh, this also guy is good, but he doesn't have a good attitude. So because of that, they kept pegging him, and he was not promoted as and when due. Many leaders today hired for their competence. They hire people for competence, for what they can do. But do you know what they do? They fired the same people for their character. So even if you are hired with competence, if your character is not good enough, you will still be fired. So your competence is what you can do, but your character is who you are. Your character is who you are. Skills can get you into the room, but character will keep you in the room. So therefore, what are the definitions of character as we go this morning? Some of them are my own personal definitions, and some of them I got them from leadership books that I've read over the years. Leadership character is the bridge between a leader's value and their action. Your character is the bridge between your action and your values. What are the core values that you hold dear to yourself? Integrity, as I'm going to be talking about it, humility, uprightness. Then the question is, are your action in tune with those values that you have? That's how you know a good leader. The bridge between your values and your action. Leadership is the moral fiber that remains when no one is watching. You know, in Royal Tribe, we have talked so much about this in January and February, looking at our core values. Norman Schwarzkopf said, leadership is a potent combination of strategy and character. But if you must be without one, be without strategy. Leadership is a potent combination of strategy and character. But between the two, if you have an option to drop one, don't drop your character. You can still drop strategy. John C. Maxwell said, the first person you examine is yourself. And therefore, the first person you should change is yourself. You want to be a good leader, this is the starting point. The starting point is your character. The starting point is that you should change yourself. In modern corporate culture, most times we have mastered the art of competence, that is how to lead. And many people have done this. Many people seated here, they've done MBAs, some have done PhDs, some have gone for, this is not the first leadership program that you will be attending. Many of us have done Six Sigma certifications. Many of us, we have a lot of technical skills. We've learned how to do things. However, competence without character is a hazard. Competence without character is a hazard. Every leader casts a shadow. If you are competent but you lack integrity, you simply become a more efficient villain, that is a notorious person within your organization. So therefore, you must understand that excellence is not a gift. Excellence is a habit. Excellence is a habit, and you must cultivate that habit. Leadership character, and take note of this particular definition. You know, I thought so deep about it. Leadership character is the consistent choice of the harder right over the easier wrong. Most times, wrong things are very easy to do. Are you getting my point now? Most times, wrong things are very easy to do. But you have character when you choose the right thing that is hard over the wrong thing that is easier. So leadership character is your consistent choice of the harder right over the easier wrong. In this development program, I'm going to be sharing with us 4 pillars of excelling characters. Of excelling character. 4 pillars of character. And those 4 pillars are basically integrity, humility, accountability, and courage. Integrity, humility, accountability, and courage. When we talk about integrity, it isn't just honesty. Many people thought integrity is all about being holy, it's all about being sincere. No. Integrity is an alignment. As a leader, you must have that alignment. And what alignment are we talking about? When your thoughts, when your words, when your actions becomes a single chord. An alignment. In business, it is called compliance and ethics. Right? It is called compliance and ethics. In ministry, in church, it is called holiness and sincerity. There must be an alignment. They are 2 sides of the same coins. There was a man called Bryn Brown. He defines integrity as choosing courage over comfort. Many people will definitely want to choose comfort over courage. But integrity is choosing courage over comfort. Choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy. That's what many people go for these days. Is it fun? Yes. Is it fast? This generation, Indomie generation. Yes. Is it easy? They go for it. Whereas, it's not right. Let me give you an example. Consider a CEO or a leader who discovers a minor product flaw that is not legally required to be disclosed yet. For example, those that are into manufacturing, you discover that we are passing this, in the process of producing, and you discover that there is a flaw. Do you just overlook it and let it pass? Oh, we are producing 1,000, only 5 has flaw, so I can let it go. A leader that does that is not a leader with character of integrity. It's not a leader of character or a leader of integrity. A leader of character will voluntarily do a recall that this product is not perfect. I can't send this product into the market. This is going to destroy our brand. This is going to affect our reputation. And because of that, I must not allow it to pass. A leader of character initiates a voluntary recall, prioritizing consumer trust over quarterly margin. When we are talking about integrity, it is from the Latin word integer. For those of us who are familiar with mathematics, an integer is a whole number, an undivided number. So a leader with character of integrity is whole, is undivided. A leader with character of integrity is, if you look at this side, the same person you are seeing is the same person you will see if you look at him from this side. You get the point? But today, you see some leaders, if you look at them from this angle, you are seeing something else. If you look at them from this angle, you are seeing another thing. Who they are in the church is different from who they are in the office. Who they are in their business dealings is different from who they are when they appear. Who they are before the camera, right, is different from who they are when the camera is turned off. A leader with integrity doesn't have a work persona and a home persona. Who they are at home is who they are at work. You get the point? There are some people, they are very nice outside, but when they come home, they are not nice. That's not integrity. That's divided. True integrity simply means you don't have a stage personality. Because as a leader, you are a person of influence. And in this church, in our space, I regard anyone that is that is a walker upward as a leader. You don't have double personality. You don't have a stage personality that is different from a backstage reality. Your stage personality should be the same as your backstage reality. True integrity means that you don't have a stage personality that your backstage reality cannot support. So your stage personality should be equal with your backstage reality. Brian Tracy said, integrity is the most valuable and respected quality of leadership. Integrity is the most valuable and respected quality of leadership. Therefore, always keep your word. Always keep your word. If there is any character that you must have as a leader, whether you are an emerging leader or you have arrived as a leader, the first character, which is the foundation, is integrity. Hear me, my people. In the age of social media that we found ourselves, in this age of radical transparency, any crack in a leader's integrity is easily amplified. Is easily amplified. How many presidents of United States of America have been exposed? I mean, you can go down the history. Every one of us heard about Bill Clinton's infidelity. You will explain tire as leader. But once you lose or miss your integrity, then you have lost it. So character is now your most public asset as a leader. Character is your most public asset. So the foundation of leadership character is integrity. We continue. The second character or second pillar of excelling character is humility. Humility. Humility is not in prostrating for everybody. I hope you know. Humility is not in prostrating for everybody. Humility is the most potent trait for any leader. Humility is the most potent trait for any leader. And what does humility do? It shifts your focus from power over things, power over people, but it shifts your focus to power with the people. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking of yourself less. Humility is what makes a leader to be teachable. There are many people that they don't ever believe that they can be wrong as a leader. They don't think they can be wrong. They just think they know everything. There's a man called James Collins in United States of America. He wrote a book, Good to Great. He identifies 5 levels of leadership. And he said these 5 levels of leadership is a paradoxical blend of personal humility and professional will. Personal humility and professional will. One of the CEOs of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, he transformed Microsoft from a level that Bill Gates handed over to her onto a multi-billion enterprise. And do you know the core of this transformation? She moved the organization from a know-it-all culture to a learn-it-all culture. She moved the organization from a know-it-all culture to a learn-it-all culture. So as a leader, you don't know it all. You don't know it all. You must be open to learning. You must have a learning culture. A know-it-all culture is a proud culture. Nobody can correct you. Nobody can talk to you. Even from the smallest of your employee, an idea can come that will change your business. Even from, there are times I will just be listening to everybody. I learn from everything. I will just be listening to everybody, even as I'm going. I was coming this morning and I was meditating in the car while we were coming, and I saw a billboard. And right there and then, I told myself, oh boy, God is talking to you from this thing. But many people, what they have in their mind, that's what they want to do. They don't have this culture of learning from people. Pope Francis gave a very good example of humility, like Jesus. He washed the feet of prisoners. This downward mobility that is downward mobility that commands more respect than any executive order. The prisoner that Pope Francis washed his feet, we never forget. Even if he was not released from prison till he dies, he will never forget that act of humility. When we talk about humility, it is a form of servant leadership. Many of us think leadership is all about being served. You are a master. You are in command. You send this one, send that one, and you are not doing anything. Best leaders see themselves as the bottom of the pyramid, supporting those above them. Supporting those above them. And take note of this. When things go well, the leaders look out through the window to credit their teams. When things go poorly, the leaders look in the mirror to take responsibility. And that is the principle or the philosophy of the window and mirror when it comes to humility. There are many people, they are not humble to the point that they can accept that something has gone wrong. I'm going to give us some rhetorics, at the end of this lecture. Some scenarios, rhetorical scenarios that, we are not doing an exercise, but you just think about it as a leader. So when we talk about humility, it is the antidote to CEO's disease. It's the antidote to CEO's disease. So learn to be humble. We go to the third pillar of excelling character. Third pillar of excelling character, which is accountability. One of the bane of leadership in today's world is lack of accountability. There are many leaders that doesn't have who they look up to, who can hold them accountable. Character excels when a leader looks in the mirror for failure and look out the window for success. High character leaders do not fly solo. High character leaders, they don't fly solo. They don't do things all alone. They create systems around themselves where they can be questioned. The question I want to ask you is this: are there people around you that can question your character? Are there people around you that can tell you that this thing you are doing, you are wrong, and you will accept? Do you learn from people above you? Do you learn from people below you? Accountability is key. You must have that system, a check and balance system around you, where your thoughts, your morals, your actions can be questioned. If you don't have that, you cannot excel as a leader. High character leaders do not fly solo. Patrick Lencioni notes that the greatest challenge in teams is the avoidance of accountability. It is the avoidance of accountability. When we talk about accountability, we are talking about only the outcome. Only the outcome. As a leader, you must be accountable. That's what makes you to be responsible. Accountability is what makes you to be responsible. Accountability is the willingness to be counted on. They can count on you. Accountability is what makes a man to be reliable. There are many leaders that the zone where they are operating is called the blame zone. The blame zone. But if you want to be a leader par excellence, you must be able to operate in a zone called no blame zone. Many people trade or they play blame game so much. Something is wrong. It's brother so and so. Okay, who did this? Who made this to happen? That shouldn't be your focus as a leader. A leader of character will refuse to use the economy, the competition or competitors, or the team as an excuse for failure. You must be responsible as a leader. Somebody under you made mistake, own it. Because one of the reasons why they made mistake is probably because you have not taught them what you are supposed to teach them. So as a leader of character, you must operate in a no blame zone. No blame zone. And like I said earlier on, Stephen Covey was the one who said, accountability breeds responsibility. And do you know the meaning of responsibility? Responsibility. Responsibility is a two-word. Response dash ability. So accountability is what breeds responsibility. Accountability is what breeds responsibility. So as a leader, move from who did this to how do we ensure we learn from this. The deed is done. Am I correct? The deed is done. So move from who did it. You are just looking for somebody to nail. You are just looking for somebody to sack. You are looking for somebody to fire. No, let there be a shift. That is one of the things we want to achieve with this leadership program. Move from who did this to how do we ensure we learn from this? How do we ensure that this does not happen again? So this makes us to know that a strong board of director. I happen to be on maybe 2 or 3 boards of companies by the grace of God. A strong board of directors. They are not just yes men. Accountability makes you to critique everything in a way that you will be able to learn from failures and apply those lessons learned. As a result of this, you must always have what is called accountability circle around you. As a pastor, you must have elders. That's why in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, one of the things that every church is expected to have is a council. And the council contains people from different natural groups. One of their work is to ensure that they checkmate. they hold the pastor accountable. In the book of Proverbs 11 verse 14, do you know that Bible is one of the best leadership books? Yeah, so I'm saying this because it's possible we have someone who is not of our faith. It's a leadership program. Where there is no counsel, people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Do you have counselors around you? They are the one that will hold you accountable. Let's go to the fourth pillar of excelling character. Fourth pillar of excelling character. Courage. Courage. Courage is the ability to act on your values despite fear or pressure from stakeholders. You already know about integrity, right? And integrity is the consistent choice of choosing the other right over the easier wrong. That won't just happen. If you are not courageous, you won't do that. Do you get it? If you are not, it takes a courage for a leader to see that there is a product that has a flaw. Out of 100, one has a flaw, and he said, stop the machine. There is one that has a problem. Remove it and start again. Another leader will be looking at the time that you would have lost to stop the machine, remove it, that you would have produced like 10. Courage. Courage is the ability to act on your values. What are those values? The value of integrity, the value of humility we've talked about, the value of accountability. Courage is the ability to act on your values despite fear or pressure from stakeholders. Oh, stakeholders, we always want to. I was sharing in the church recently when we were talking about, I think something around this. I talk about the Enron scandal. Enron scandal is one of the biggest scandal till date in oil and gas history. There is no way you are going to do under financial management when you are doing MBA that they will not teach you about Enron scandal. The CEOs and the board of directors, they wanted to make profit by all means. So because of that, they were not able to act on the value of integrity. They were changing the books, the numbers. They were giving fake profitability figure to the public. And as a result of that, they lost it. They were jailed. I'm talking about corporate world. They were jailed for it. So many people don't know that you can be an MD of a company and, fall foul of policies of the government, and it will send you to jail. It will send you to jail. Courage is the will to do right. Courage is the ability to choose the other right over the easier wrong. Now, take note of these two definitions. Remember, I said earlier on, integrity is the consistent choice, right, of other right over the easier wrong. How many of you remember that? Integrity is the consistent choice. That is, when you have chosen consistently the other right over the easier wrong, you have integrity. But that ability to choose it is the courage. That ability to choose the other right over the easier wrong is the courage. Is the courage. There are many people, I give you an example in the church of courage. Somebody brought a very big tithe to our church now. We are looking for land. You understand? Brought a very big tithe, let's say in hundreds of millions. And as a pastor, I failed to ask that person, what's the source of your money? Some pastors will just, we won't buy land, now go provide this one. No. They will just collect that money and go. Courage will make me to do that. And if I have done it over time, over and over, that is integrity. Do you have courage? Courage is key as a leader. In the book of Joshua chapter 1, if you read it from verse 1 to the end, the Lord told Joshua 4 times, be thou strong and be courageous, when he was taking over the mantle of leadership from Moses. It simply means courage is important. Courage is the ethical spine of any organization. You know, without your spine, without your backbone, you can't stand. The ethical spine of any organization is courage. Courage is the form of every virtue at its testing point. Moral courage is standing up to a toxic superior or defending an unpopular but correct idea. We found ourselves in this situation many times. This idea is unpopular but is correct. Many people want to go for popular but a wrong idea. But courage is when you defend. I know this thing is not in vogue. I know this thing is not popular. But I am very sure that if we follow through with this idea, we are going to achieve it. That is courage. Defending it. Defending it. So, the 4 pillars I want to share with you because of the, paucity of time are integrity, humility, accountability, and courage. And courage. Courage will make you as a leader to confront the culture of silence. One of the things I don't like in meetings is when you are in a meeting and you are keeping quiet. You are not courageous. Most times people that keep quiet and they are saying something is going wrong, whether as a worker, whether as an employee, most of them are sycophants. Are you following me? They are sycophants. So that's why when you are in a meeting, always air your opinion. And this is one of the secrets of rising faster in organization. It's one of the secrets of rising faster in organization. Always air your opinion. Courage is confronting the culture of silence and demanding that every employee speak up when they see a problem. So one of the things I want you to take home from this leadership character session is that cultivate the ability of speaking up, whether in the church, whether at home, but you can speak up with respect, right? You don't have to be rude when you are speaking up. There are some people that they can be politely insulting. I hope you know that. They will be insulting you and you will think they are they can be so politely insulting. So speak up in a respectful way. Don't keep quiet. You are looking at it as a leader, especially in a church setting, in a business. Things are going down. If this thing continue like this, it's going to spoil. Speak up. Do something. And don't forget, part of the test of your character as a leader is that when you are speaking up, you are not blaming anybody. You are looking for a way to make sure that we stop the bleed. You are looking for a way to make sure that this wrong is not continuing. So let's go to the third section as we begin to round up. Now we have seen that there are 4 characters that are very important as a leader. What's the first one? Please tell me if you are following me. What's the second one? The third one? The fourth one? Courage. Now the question is, how do you develop and nurture this character? Please, let's welcome our other keynote speakers for this leadership development program. You're welcome, sir and ma. How do you develop and nurture this character? Now, you need to understand that character is not a fixed trait. Character is not a fixed trait. Character can grow. Character can be developed. That's why in the scripture it is called the fruit of the Spirit. Character can be nurtured. Character is like a muscle that is developed through micro decisions. It's like a muscle that, you don't just become very muscular in a day. Am I correct? You build it over time. You eat little by little. You have good nutrients, balanced diet, and you do exercise. You go to the gym, you run. All those micro decisions that you are making, they build your character. Your character is forged in the inner room. Inner room. You can't form character in the public. Characters are formed in the inner room. Your private habits, they are what dictate your public performance. Your private habits are what dictate your public performance. And in this, I have listed about 9 ways by which you can develop and nurture leadership characters. Number 1, the second thought practice. The second thought practice. Don't forget that we've talked about integrity is the consistent choice between the other right and over easier wrong, right? And courage is the ability to choose the other right over easier wrong. Now, when you are faced with an easy out situation, what do? Don't rush to make that decision. One of the ways by which you test your character is that you pause. Are you following me? You pause. Always ask yourself the question, does this align? What I want to do now, does it align with the person I want to be in 10 years? Does it align with the person I want to be in 5 years? The second thought practice. Always have a second thought on whatever you want to do. Number 2, how do you develop and nurture excelling character? Seek a truth teller. And this talks about the accountability circle I talked about earlier on. Always surround yourself with people that can tell you the truth in the face of any circumstances you are going through. One of those people is my wife, of course. She can't say because I'm doing what is wrong now, she now wants to say, no, I don't want him to be angry. If I want to be angry, I should be angry. She will still tell me, oh God, you are not doing well. So you need to surround yourself with people like that. Every leader needs a peer or mentor who is authorized to tell them when they are being arrogant or dishonest. You can develop that nature. That character through that. Number 3 is the system of reflective journaling. Journaling. Today, most of us, we don't have this practice of journaling again. That's why you see many people come to church, even for this kind of leadership conference, they are not writing anything. Right? Reflective journaling. At the end of the day, identify a situation, a scenario every day where your character was tested, and think, reflect on it. How did I react? If you had reacted the way God expects you to react, take note of it. You are forming that excelling character. Do you understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you just sit down before you sleep, after you have prayed, reflect on how your day has gone. Reflect on a situation where your character was tested. Maybe where they ask you a question, and instead of saying yes, you manipulated the yes, or you exaggerated it. Check. whether you pass or not. Number 4, define your non-negotiables. You must do this in advance. As far as character is concerned, you must create your boundary. These are my non-negotiable. Pastor Adeboye told us, I can never have a female as a secretary. Stop it. That's his own non-negotiable. Some pastor can say they have that fire and, anointing. And everyone surrounded them. I was talking with a friend over the week. We were inspecting some projects and we're discussing. He said, Pastor, I can't manage female salesperson. I said, no, you can't do without them as well. Whether you like it or not, you still need a female salesperson. But what you can do is that you can create a barrier. Have a male person who will report to you that will manage the female sales team. So you don't have to deal with them directly. And if you want to deal with them directly, in the presence of their manager. And don't give any one of them access to yourself. So always define your non-negotiables. Understand that these are the values I stand for. And this must be done before a crisis hits. Don't define your non-negotiable when you are in the midst of a problem. As a matter of fact, you won't even have any value to protect. But before any crisis hits, know that when it comes to this is my boundary. I won't do that. And like I wrote here, before a crisis hits, write down 3 things you will never do for money. Once you know that no matter what happened, I will never sell my body for money, it's already your non-negotiable. What you will never do for power or status. I will not supplant anyone. I will not backbite so that I will look good in the face of the authority. So I will just rush through this because my time is up. Number 5, you must always do impact audit. For business, for churches, always ask your team, what is one thing I do that makes it difficult for you to do your best work? One of these things, they call it 360-degree review. Many of us, we do appraiser, is it bottom down now, right? From the manager down, but you don't do, you don't do the reverse order. You don't appraise yourself. Many of us that are HODs here of churches, many of us that are managers, if they mistakenly tell your subordinate to write about you, you are gone. You are gone. So you must always build this character trait of teachability. Also, there is 24-hour rule. When you are faced with a character testing decision, like I said earlier on, wait, pause. Don't be impulsive to make decision. Also, there is solitude audit. Solitude audit. Leaders in corporate sector, in ministry, most times are often addicted to doing. But you must understand that character requires being. So most times, every day, use minimum of 10 minutes in silence to recalibrate your motive. Feedback loop, I mentioned that's another way of having impact audit. It's a 360-degree review, all right? And number 9 is the slow down rule. Slow down rule. Okay, as I round up, I give us 2 scenarios. 2 scenarios, and it's a rhetorical reflection as a leader. And I want every one of us to just think about it. You are not to answer the question. Think about it. Think about it. Scenario A. I believe you have it on the slide. Your team works 60 hours a week to land a 60 hours a week to land a massive account. During the board meeting, the chairman praises you specifically for the win. What do you do? Do you accept the praises? You are not the one that have done it. Or do you dedicate it to the team? That is a character test. Do you soak yourself in the solo praise to boost your standing? Or do you even interrupt the chairman to name every team member who did the heavy lifting? Pass the ball. That is a character testing. So the question, the rhetoric is, if your title was stripped away tomorrow, would people still follow you? If your title was stripped away, you are a pastor, you are an MD, you are a manager, and you have people working under you. If they remove that appellation, would people still follow you? If they follow you, you are a leader of character. If they don't follow you, they have been seeing some things, but they are not able to tell you because you've not created the opportunity. If they permit us, we'll share the slides with us and you can see other rhetorical reflections. I want to appreciate you for this privilege to have me, and I encourage you to please enjoy the rest of the session. Thank you very much.